Welcome, friends. I'm Tanya Long, and this is Reset. Each week, we share conversations with thought leaders, innovators, and the dreamers and doers who are reshaping the future of work, technology, longevity, and purpose. So settle in and let's explore what happens when purpose meets possibility. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to welcome to Reset with Tanya here at KPCR 92.9 FM on a beautiful sunny day and KMRT 101.9 FM out of Santa Cruz. And I am so excited to welcome someone really special to me. It's Bryan Fenchel. Bryan's the CEO and founder of Starchild Music. We're going to get all into how a crazy name like that evolved. But speaking of crazy, I will never forget meeting you. Your hair was wider than your hips. And for a woman, that's of course never a good thing, but Bryan had the biggest, boldest, but most bodacious hair just down the street from here. We were at a tech meetup and Bryan and I met, hit it off, and have pretty much worked together ever since as Bryan has built up and had resets in his life with his company and what he's doing to change the world of music. So what makes Bryan's approach so unique is his willingness to challenge the norm. Bryan was a multi-instrument musician. We'll talk about those days of his fame and glory before he became a tech entrepreneur. But he is willing to challenge how we make music. And so with that, he's created a product with his team that is going to change the way we look at instrumentation and music and our ability to work and partner with that. Bryan, welcome to my little domain, at least for this hour. Welcome to KPCR 92.9 Pirate Cat. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm happy to be here. And I'm Bryan Fenchel. Yes, I played many instruments. I played trumpet, piano, percussion, I'm a composer, and I am the founder of Starchild Music. My background was split between music and tech. I started as a jazz trumpet player, then worked in film scoring and producing, and eventually I found myself completely obsessed with the potential of generative music and adaptive systems.
Wow, I've never been obsessed with generative music or adaptive systems. But now that I have been part of the development cycles of your product, it makes a lot more sense what that means for the people in our audience who don't even understand what it means to have adaptive music. Can you tell them a little about what Starchild does, like what it looks like for the consumer so that they can wrap their head around it? Otherwise, they might be lost for the rest of our conversation, and we don't want that.
So let's first say, what is Starchild Adaptive? So that's a new music format that listens back. So music that changes in real time based on you, your energy, your moment, and we're not just building the format, we're also building this really cool player that you can try now, actually, which I think we'll get into later. But what is it like for the user? Like, how does this look? What's it sound like? Starchild, it's both for fans and artists. And so fans, they can use our player to remix music in real time with no gear, no plugins, just a phone or your laptop. You can shift the genre, the energy, the arrangement, even like the emotional tone of a song. And it's intuitive and expressive. So something you can do on your commute, in your room, or with friends. Artists use our pipeline to transform their songs into this new adaptive format. And that means they can release music that evolves. It opens up remix competitions that anyone can participate in and creates deeper engagement with fans.
So what's a remix?
What's a remix?
Yeah.
So,
is that a mashup?
Yeah, it's like a mashup.
Okay.
But we do it a bit differently. The way that we do remixes is we'll take an artist's song and it'll go through our pipeline.
Yeah.
And we'll automatically generate these alternate versions of the song that a fan can engage with in real time, or an artist can engage with and play with their music in this new adaptive format.
So I could take an opera and turn it into a hard rock score? Is that what remix means?
That's what a Starchild remix
That's
means.
Okay, so I'm a little influenced by knowing what the product does.
So people so we have this pipeline, which we call Clara.
Yeah.
And an artist, if they want to do a release on our platform, they will send a song through our pipeline. And these alternate genres will be created based upon the analysis of their song.
Yeah.
All those alternate genres, those alternate versions, and alternate energetic levels will be put into our player, which plays Starchild adaptive format, which is a multi-channel format, what I described. And then you can switch between the genres, you can add effects, you can do all these things in real time and create remixes with this. So like everything you're doing on that player is recorded and you can save it. And now you have a personalized version of that song.
So if you've ever wanted a section to be faster or wanted a section to, I don't know, have more strings, that's what you're saying you can do. Wow. Wouldn't the artist be upset about that? About you changing their music?
That's one of the things that we focus on is we want to be right safe. We want to be ethical. And our whole thing is about supporting artists and they're staying true to their vision. So when an artist does a release on our platform, they get to decide how they want their fans to be able to change their music.
Okay.
Exactly. But with an artist, it opens up all these different new options for them. As an artist, they can take it all different types of directions any way they want. So it's both. Like some artists we spoke to, they are like super into the idea of fans being able to do whatever they want with their music and making it so any fan can do it, not just fans that have production experience. And me as an artist myself, I was a bit surprised by this. I was like, wait, so you don't care if your fan does anything they want with your music? They can speed it up. They can make you sound like a chipmunk. Take your vision, like,
helium balloon version,
completely like to the left of what you ever thought the song would do. And the artist I was speaking to, Chizuko, is one of our first featured artists. She's like, yeah, that excites me. Like, I want my fans to be able to share and do whatever they want with my music.
I love it.
Like, feel some kind of connection. And me as an artist, that's the same way. Like, I've been totally focused on, like, when I was a musician and when I was performing and making music, I always used to say, I'm making this music for myself and I hope people listen to it. And if they hate it or if they love it, all that mattered to me was that they connected with it some way emotionally. Didn't matter how. But if the audience could connect with it in a way that was even more powerful because they could personalize it to whatever they're feeling in that moment, that's better. That's the way music should be. That's more like a live performance.
Okay. Yeah. I have this big word in my head and I can't get rid of it. It's transcend. So like your music, something you compose, it can transcend you when other people get to be creative with it. When they're blue because they broke up with their friend and they can make it a blue song, or they are really happy, giddy, excited, they can turn it into a really happy, giddy, excited song.
They can.
Yeah, and that's that. I remember when generative AI first hit the streets 2.5 years ago. And I had a friend that was an executive coach up in Oregon in his 60s, and he became a mid-journey nut. And he would I bet he couldn't draw a stick figure with a pen, but he could make these, and he made these crazy images, like of my Airstream on Mars with me holding my book. He made these beautiful images. It unleashed creativity in him that every night he'd sit out by his fire pit smoking a cigar while his wife was on her computer doing other things. And he'd make these images of my Airstream Bella and send these fanciful, like steampunk, like genre. And he was consumed by it. And so I can see from what happened with him how people would feel the same way once they are given tools to operate with music in a different way from feel, because they may not have the technical gifts of music reading or like your technical gifts playing all those instruments. But if they have a tool that you've given them like Starchild, then they can be involved in the creative process.
We could go on some other music generation platform and take the output of that, some platform that lets you generate your own songs instantly. There's some of them today that are pretty cool. Not ethical, but they're very cool. And they could take that and go on our Starchild platform and put it in Starchild format, fill up all these different genres of it, and an interactive experience that they can then release, like either under their own name or they could create some persona. Yeah. It's very exciting times for people that want to get creative that don't necessarily have a creative
Yeah.
background.
I love it. I love it. So I can't wait till you let me log in and we will not fight about that here. But I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see it. So let's rewind the clock a little, because you didn't just wake up from a dream and say, "Ooh, I need to build this." You had years as a performer, as a musician. So that had, being a multi-instrumentalist had to influence like how you looked at music technically, and you produce music as well. How did that experience in your history shape how you came to see the opportunity to do this?
Like I said, I've been obsessed with how music makes people feel. And as a performer and
Yeah.
composer, I was chasing the moment, like that goosebump moment.
Yeah. It's an addiction.
And I kept hitting a wall. Like, music was always frozen once it
Interesting.
was released. So you couldn't reach into it and reshape it. And I actually wrote this rock opera.
You've told me about this.
It's wild. It's an emotional ride. But I realized the format I wanted it to live in, it just didn't exist yet.
Okay.
So I didn't want it to play the same every time. That was the turning point. Like, I needed to build a format before I could finish the music. So
Have you done anything with that rock opera?
I have.
Oh, I actually don't know the answer to this. So tell all of us.
It's not available for everyone to experience yet, but it will be. I was talking to my co-founder, because my co-founder also has these like expansive creative visions.
Let's give a shout out to your co-founder.
Starchild Yizo. His name's Danye, but he goes by Starchild Yizo. And
A nice man.
yeah.
And the Grammys that he has won in his career haven't changed him.
Oh, not at all. He's become far busier since his latest Grammy.
I know. I wouldn't notice that. You would.
Yeah.
As a co-founder. He's down in LA.
Which is exciting. He's got lots of amazing opportunities opening. So so we both have these expansive visions. And so we've developed Starchild as a format that you can release these on. If you go try our player now, you'll see, there's really cool music. You can switch stuff around, but I don't want to give too much away, but there will be video added pretty soon as well.
Get out.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's all multimedia experiences, and we want it to be personalized multimedia experiences in real time.
Okay.
Now, you can imagine now that sounds really cool. It sounds cool to me. It gets me excited. But so how did I get here, though, really? So we could take a step back, just a little window more into this journey. So, like, I was in the music industry for a long time myself. That's where I met Danye.
Yeah, if you're looking at this on the podcast and you see the video, he looks very young. I think he came out of preschool performing music. So it's hard to think about you.
I did come out of preschool performing music.
Oh, prodigy. Okay. Keep telling us your story.
Yeah, I've been performing since I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
Trumpet and piano, and then I was in the industry then. I graduated high school. I toured Japan and some other places as a jazz trumpet player. Super fun. Went to conservatory, and then I got into the music industry part. Doing a lot of music production. Wrote that rock opera I was talking about, and started producing for bigger pop artists and companies like Disney, Universal, Neo, French Montana. That's a long list. And then after a while, I decided to take a step back from the music industry. And I moved to San Francisco to study computer science at USF. That was when I was 35. So that's
Oh, you just look young then. So
I had a journey. And I was like, I'm getting super into VR, AR, I learn how this stuff works. I've been using all this production equipment and programs. I've always been fascinated how it works. And after I went into computer science, I thought I was just making a pivot. I need something different for now, but it became this obsession. So I was building worlds, playing with interaction, and then I discovered music information retrieval, MIR, music generation, all these wild academic subfields that were asking the same questions I'd been asking creatively, which was, what else can music do? And that's when it clicked. Like, my next chapter wasn't about making more songs. It was about building the future they could live in. So it was definitely like this identity shift for myself, because I spent all these years calling myself a musician and a creator, and I write screenplays, and my whole life was just either being in the studio or being at home creating music or my next big vision or something like that.
Right.
And now I was learning data structures and algorithms in my 30s along with these 19-year-olds.
So at some point, you realized that your life was transitioning from being a performer to making music a different way and enabling other people to make music.
Yeah.
Was that a moment in time, or was it a blend that got you there?
It was like a gradual shift.
Okay.
I was forced to stop being a jazz trumpet player at a point in my life.
Okay.
I got this terrible illness and I lost feeling in my lips.
Does that happen to trumpet players?
It happened to
From
me.
overuse? I didn't know if that was because, okay.
I got a
It's
really
just a random.
bad infection. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was, yeah. And I lost feeling in my lips from that infection because that's where it started. And it led to endocarditis and a lot of problems. Like, I was in the best shape of my life, and then I was walking around with a cane for months afterward.
Okay.
But I wasn't able to play trumpet anymore the way I used to.
Yeah.
So I had to get into other things. And that's when I got far deeper into music production, even video production, writing screenplays, because I'm a creative person and I need to still do that.
Yeah.
Eventually I was able to play trumpet again, but I'd already expanded this world so much by going into these different things. And while I was doing that, I got into technology.
Wow. Not a technology conversation, but I'm going to segue just for a minute over into a radio announcement for one of our KPCR 92.9 partners. KPCR wants to thank Stephen Cotton Photography in San Jose for sponsoring the Signal Society. Members receive $50 off in-studio headshots and $50 off 60-minute portrait sessions. If you'd like to learn more about membership in the Signal Society, you can hit kpcr.org/join for more information. So I'm going to swing back to us, Bryan Fenchel of Starchild Music, here on Reset with Tanya. Let me get it all in and say something really gloomy, but it's something I've recognized in the last few years. Before we did that little station break, you were talking about becoming ill and even being on a cane. And I just, with your energy, I can't imagine that point in your life, that time in your life. But I had a moment a couple of years ago. I'd taken my Airstream down to the Rose Parade. There's a big rally that happens down there. It's awesome. And Gabby Giffords was the marshal of the parade. You might remember Gabby was a U.S. senator that was shot, I'm going to say 8 or 10 years ago. There was a shooting. She was involved and she was paralyzed, and she's no longer in the Senate, just can't manage the physicality of that role. And then I thought about Christopher Reeve, and we all know what happened with Christopher Reeve in a horse riding accident. And their lives became more meaningful after they had a complete life reset. And this was and I know it's gloomy, but often out of these terrible life incidents comes like the realization of the new you and who you are now. Gabby's a major advocate for human rights. I wouldn't say gun control, but responsible gun ownership. She supported her husband into politics. Her life changed. It's nothing like it looked like before, but I would say it's more meaningful and more people know who she is. She would just be the senator from Arizona. And Christopher Reeve, he would always be the cutest Superman, but he had a much more meaningful life. Michael J. Fox, same thing. So I'm putting you in a list of people whose life transitioned when a personal crisis happened. And all of you, you're in a list of 4 now, had the resilience to find your path into something new that was even better than before. You wouldn't know me if you were still playing the trumpet on stages down in L.A.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, actually, I left LA because I don't think I'd still be here if I didn't leave LA. I'm really happy I changed my life.
Met Yesenia and
Yeah.
Finya. Sorry. Yeah, met Finya. And your life is on the right path. So I love it. You have said in some of your postings and some of the other things that you've done that music is evolving everywhere except at its core. What led you to question the foundation of music? That was pretty bold to declare music as not evolving.
When I got into music information retrieval and music tech, I
Mhm.
realized we had all this amazing innovation. Like there's AI mastering, stem separation, adaptive reverb, spatial audio,
Oh, stop with the terms. Stop. Keep
Dolby
going.
atmosphere. The delivery format,
Uh-huh.
right? It's still just a static file. Still press play, listen. Oh, that was great. That was amazing.
Mhm.
But that didn't make sense. Other mediums evolved. Games, they became interactive. Films became immersive. Even books became choose your own adventure. And music, but still locked in the past, right? So eventually this kind of became my mission. I wanted to evolve music and bring it into this interactive era.
Okay. And this is, the leap is big, but it's not like from just driving down the street, listening to the radio to this. I've been at the Sphere a couple of times in Las Vegas. And when things happen like a boom of an explosion, the seats vibrate. It is for me, I'm not an audiophile. And it is an immersive experience. You feel the sound in that environment.
Mhm.
And then now the part that's beautiful to me is that you're bringing people into the music because they can help recreate it from their lens.
Yeah, I want everyone to have that experience that I felt being on stage and
Yeah.
performing.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative experience, a conversation. And now this Starchild adaptive format brings everyone into that conversation.
So you and I are both in AI land. We operate that way. We think that way. A lot of my friends, and I think a lot of your friends too, are focused on the newest technologies that are happening. Yet you are also focused on feeling. You've talked about wanting people to feel the music instead of it just being static. Instead of it, and I don't mean static like on a radio, not dynamic. So how do you maintain the human element since AI is coming into everything and people are questioning everything? How do you keep the human element in music while you use AI to make music adaptive?
It's a great question. So at Starchild, we're not chasing automation for its own sake. We're building a system where AI enhances human expression. It doesn't replace it. So every track starts with a real artist. So the emotions, the stems, the intent, that's all human. Our adaptive engine, Clara, simply makes those songs responsive, letting fans shift genres, energies, and arrangements in real time without breaking the artistry. We don't do generic throwaway generative content. We do expression with feeling, and we back that up structurally. Our entire system is built around attribution and ethics. So artists are credited and compensated. They stay in control of how their music is adapted. And when remix revenue is generated, the artists get paid. But it goes even deeper than that. So when we use generative tools like alternate genre stems, the AI model creators get a cut of the revenue too. And with some of our partners, it doesn't stop there. They also pay out the data providers who contributed to the training those models. And that means musicians whose catalogs help power the AI are also compensated. So it's not just about innovation, but building a new creative economy where everyone who contributes gets recognized and rewarded. And that's how we preserve artistic integrity in the age of AI, by making sure every voice, human, and hybrid, is heard, respected, and paid.
So is the ethical concern around music just about getting paid? I shouldn't say just because it's fair. That's that's people's work and what they've done. It should be compensated. I'm asking you the definition or the categories of ethics in music. Is it mostly around licensing rights, or are there other ethical considerations in the production of music?
I think a lot about licensing rights.
Yeah, of course, what you're building, you have to. It's transactional, and there's nothing wrong with that. It has to be
There's
figured out.
another side too, right?
Yeah.
Like when I first started messing around with stuff like Midjourney and these other magical models out there,
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. It was so much fun. Just like your friend, I got lost in it. And then I started realizing, wait a minute, what about the artists whose this stuff is all based on? What's going to happen to their careers. And there's two sides of this. Like, oh, wait, but they can use this tool too, and this could help them, and they could do stuff way faster. But then shouldn't they be compensated for everyone else using their work that it was trained off their work? So if there's an attribution layer and people are getting paid for the usage of this model, the actual artists that give the data, great. And if these artists can use this to enhance what they're doing or even expand what they're doing, that's great too. But you just got to make sure that there's an attribution layer. So when you're replacing these people's jobs, they're going to benefit from these models as well. I just want to try to keep everyone in the loop. So when you say when we say this is ethical, we're saying that we support artists. Like what we do at Starchild isn't meant to replace artists. It's meant to amplify them and help them reach more people or help them expand their creativity.
Yeah.
In no way are we trying to replace artists in any way.
I don't know. I'm not going to say this well. But bringing people into the creative process, I think, creates not just more visibility, but more fans.
For me, art, and art is a very broad term, but I remember going into my first really big name museums and seeing things that I had only seen on calendars before, right? Seeing Monet's Water Lilies in St. Louis. It's huge. It's enormous. It's a wall mural. Who knew? And who knew when I went to the Louvre that the Mona Lisa is this tiny little postcard-sized painting? It's a little bitty thing.
When you are physically in the presence of
visual art,
you appreciate it more. You feel like you're a part of it.
And I think you are allowing people to be part of that creative process.
Do you think creativity has a connection to connection?
I mean, there's clearly a deeper human need. And I'm thinking that adaptive music allows us to curate different experiences with music. You talked about remix competitions. Competitions inherently mean people are facing off, even if it's online or digital.
I guess at its core, music has always been about connection.
Really?
Yeah, to ourselves, to each other, to moments in time. But the way we consume music today often feels disconnected. Oh. It's passive and prepackaged. You press play, and that's it. And I think people are craving something deeper. And yeah, these creative tools do enable that. And they want to experience that response to them that feels alive. Like just as I'm messing with Midjourney, that feels alive. Like I can create art in the style of artists I know, and it's dope. I love it. You can do the same thing with Starchild. It will give you some kind of agency. Everyone wants that, especially in a world that often feels overwhelming or out of control. Now, even your music will respond to you. And that's
where it responds to you. Say more about that, because I don't intuitively understand that.
Yeah, that's where adaptive music comes in, Starchild adaptive. So when music responds to you, like your mood, your movement, your emotion, it becomes a mirror. It becomes a conversation. And you're not just listening anymore. You're co-creating the moment. And that creates a powerful sense of presence, helps you reconnect with your own feelings. And when shared with others through remixing, competition, or just co-listening, it becomes a way to communicate things words just can't reach. So we've seen it happen in real time. People light up when they realize they can shape the music, not just consume it. And that sense of play or ownership of emotional resonance, that's what we're unlocking with Starchild. But yeah, adaptive music, it's a tech innovation. More importantly, it's a human one. And it meets a deep need to be seen, to be heard, and to feel like our presence in the world actually changes something. And that something's listening out there.
Interesting. I'm going to do a quick station break. It's the bottom of the hour. Everyone, you are listening to Reset with Tanya and with our guest, Bryan Fenchel of Starchild Music on KPCR 92.9 FM out of Los Gatos, K215GA 90.5 FM also in Los Gatos, and KMRT 101.9 FM in
Santa Cruz.
That was my version of waves. I can't make music with my voice like you can, But you are listening to us from these 3 radio frequencies. So wonderful to have you here today. I am back to Bryan Fenchel, a friend, a founder, someone that hardly a week goes by the last year and a half that I haven't been talking with you about what you're building and what you're doing. We were talking about the connection that music creates, and I questioned how music creates connection. But there's also, I think, quite a bit of collaboration that music enables, because you've worked with major automotive car companies, you've worked with game platforms, all looking at how to use music and use the ability to modify music to suit their constituents that use their core products. But whether it's fitness brands or developers or whatever the new Peloton is going to be, as those evolve, you're looking cross-industry and collaborating on what is next. So how are those cross-industry collaborations important for what you think the future of music looks like?
Yeah, I think the future of music is Starchild adaptive. And
Raise it up.
And because we're not just building a product,
Yeah.
we're building this new format for music that's alive and adaptive, that shifts in real time, that listens back. To make this the new normal, like a new format, we can't stay inside the boundaries of the music industry.
Okay.
We need to work across the ecosystem. If game platforms, fitness brands, catalog owners, developers, anyone creating experiences where music can play a deeper, more dynamic role.
Okay.
So we believe adaptive music should live everywhere. Like he said, like the next Peloton, workouts, game, wellness apps, social platforms, virtual worlds. And to make that happen, it takes collaboration. It also takes community. We're building this with artists, technologists, curators, fans, anyone excited about reimagining that music can be, what music can be. It's not a top-down shift. It's a movement, one that invites people to experiment, to co-create, and to shape this format with us. And that's how formats become standards, not just like through tech, but through a shared belief that music deserves to evolve. And we're building that belief, that community, and more every day.
That evolution, I think, is based on resets and pivots in the world. I think every evolution is based on, it's pretty obvious when you say it, but people get so agitated or excited, depending on their nature, about things changing, and change is what leads us to new things. I know you've done a lot of different things. You've had multiple ventures. You've worked through accelerators. You've done VR work. Did you fail at anything?
Oh, yeah. That's how I got here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every pivot, every failure, it's been part of the path. And even when it didn't feel like it at the time. So this other startup concept I had, it was called the StageMark VR. We were experimenting with immersive performance, digital identity, long before the world was really ready for it.
Okay.
The idea was sound. Our artists performing anywhere, that sounds cool. And shortly after, we decided that's not for us. Burger King did stuff like that, and McDonald's and all these AR companies.
I'd been early once. No fun to watch the rest of the world do my stuff a year after I shut it down.
It was super fun, actually. I was like, oh, finally, that's exactly what we were talking about. But helping artists perform in 3D spaces. But when we were doing it, the infrastructure really wasn't there yet. But still, it taught me how much potential music has outside the traditional stage. And also taught me how important timing is and how you have to build just far enough ahead of the curve to be visionary without getting lost in the fog. I did this really cool accelerator. It's called Sound of AI Accelerator, which I found.
Like the sound of music, but the sound of AI.
The sound of AI. There's this guy.
I have this mental model of Julie, what was her name, skipping through the fields in between the mountains. The sound of AI.
So if you can picture Valerio, who has a whole YouTube channel called Sound of AI. He's this genius MIR scientist.
Okay, all right.
Right now he's in Barcelona. Very cool guy.
Yeah.
But so he had this accelerator community and momentum when I needed it. And we actually won this hackathon that validated the wild idea I had that I wasn't just a musician trying to play with tech, but now I was a founder building something new.
Yeah.
And mid labs, but all these different experiences and accelerators and things just taught me when you're building something revolutionary, you're not just making a product, you're building new mental models and you're teaching people to see music differently. And that takes patience. It takes empathy, and it takes being okay with things breaking along the way. Because I guess just in my life path, broke a lot of times along the way, and learned patience with that and with others. So each chapter refines the mission. It helped me stop trying to replicate the old models and instead ask what's possible now that wasn't before. And that's how this Starchild thing was born. Not as a reaction to failure, but more as a response to everything those failures taught me about what really matters.
I love it. So things happened for you not as a reaction, but as a response. That's something memorable. I'm going to hold on to that one. So you used the word revolutionary a minute ago, and that made me think, this is revolutionary, and not everybody likes change. So I'm wondering, because some people are such purists that any shift in models and processes and the way of being that we have are painful for them. So how do you, and music, everybody has music somewhere in their lives, right? Music is not foreign to anyone that's capable of receiving it. So music is out there. And I have to think that you've had to basically find ways to balance or to honor traditional music while you're creating something that's completely disruptive. So what have you guys done to honor traditional music so that you can convert those fans into adding new music genres?
You're right. Balance is everything.
Okay,
so
fine.
Starchild isn't about throwing away the past. It's about building a bridge from what's timeless to what's next.
Yeah.
We have deep respect for traditional music creation, the artistry, the craft, the rights, the culture. I'm not the only multi-instrumentalist on my team. My whole team, we're all musicians. We're all creators on the founding team, every one of us.
You're all building a digital product. They're an AI product, and you're all musicians.
We love music. So we're not here to replace that.
Yeah.
We're here to give it a new dimension. So we built Starchild Adaptive to be a format that evolves with the artist's intent, not against it.
Yeah.
So artists still create the music. They still control the feel, the flow, the emotional arc. We're just giving them a new set of tools to let their work breathe, adapt, and connect in new ways, and to allow fans to have this deeper connection with music they already love. And like we had already spoke about, respecting rights holders. And if so, whether you're like an indie artist or a major catalog owner, we make sure your content is protected and attributed and monetized fairly. You can choose how your music is adapted. You decide like how fans are going to remix it, and nothing happens without your say. So, but what we found with, like I said, so many artists is they just don't want to lose control or get left behind. So we've done this platform to empower them, not replace them, and to preserve what makes music human while unlocking what's possible when it becomes interactive. It's not disruption for disruption's sake.
Okay, that's a good statement.
It's a conversation between generations of creativity.
Okay.
And we're here to help them speak the same language.
We've talked about connection, a little bit about community. What are you most excited about in terms of what this product actually does for humanity?
That's really big, humanity. Now, all about is alpha launch. So
Fine. Humanity could be the first million people that you have that use it. That's a segment of humanity that you will impact. So what are you most looking forward to with what it helps shift for those users?
I think it's going to make people appreciate music a lot more. And to see people realize that feeling that I get when I play, to be able to play with music, not just play music. So it's a whole new way to engage. So people can tap into songs and reshape them live in real time. And that sense of control and creative freedom is something most fans have never felt before. And these remix competitions take that to the next level. These aren't like traditional remix contests where you download stems or open a DAW, you have to submit a file weeks later. This is live, intuitive remixing, just pure expression. Like the Starchild player, if you go try it at starchild.music, you can go experience this. And it's like you're playing an instrument, but really you're playing with an artist you love. Right now, that's Chizuko. So you probably haven't heard of her yet. But if you go listen to her,
I saw the trailer you developed with her. She's cute. And her personality, she's just perky and fun and open. And she was a great first artist lunch for you.
Yeah, she's great. And she's an amazing dancer as well as a singer and writer and pianist. So it's good to hear her music.
And I love it. So I said the word, my magic word, community, a minute ago. And you and I have participated in and been part of several communities. We both do a fair amount of networking and connection through the tech communities that we get involved with. I think that you've had community through all your resets. I imagine you as a trumpet player down in LA up till 3 a.m. doing sets every night, but you had a community there, right? That's just how you're wired. And then now you've got a tech community. At different points in time, you probably got a dog community to go with Ozzy. I'm sure you and Ozzy have friends. So those communities have been support systems for you through these various resets, wink, wink, that you've had in your life. So what's your advice to others about finding support systems through community? That's a deep sigh.
Yeah, in my life, community has been everything.
Yeah, good.
Every major reset in my life, from leaving LA, going back studying computer science, or there's always been a community I met and connected with to help support these resets in my life. Because like when the people around me change, it's more like I started seeking out different types of people after I was going through these resets. And it really helps.
Because your life changed.
If you're going through your own like creative or like professional reset, don't try to do it solo. Surround yourself with people who stretch you.
Oh, yes.
And who see your transition not as like a loss, but as more as a reinvention.
Evolution, yeah. I love it.
So look for communities at the intersection of your interests, that, like where innovation lives, whether it's an accelerator, Discord group, a writing camp, like a Starchild writing camp, or a hackathon. Put yourself in rooms where art and tech and intuition and data, creativity and like system collide, and be open about where you're at.
You've had several resets through your career. LA musician, a student here in the Bay Area, founder, now soon to be husband, dog dad. So you've had lots of transitions that you've lived through, but each of those transitions represented different communities for you.
Yeah. Community has been everything. Every major reset in my life, leaving LA, going back to school for computer science, shifting from musician to founder, I wouldn't have made it through without the right people around me. Like when I left the music industry to pursue tech, it was disorienting. Like I went from studios and stages to algorithms and labs. But in San Francisco, I found a new kind of community, one that welcomed experimentation. I met developers who loved music, artists who loved data, and mentors who saw potential in the crossover. So the Sound of AI Accelerator was a huge turning point. It gave me structure, accountability, and most importantly, it gave me peers who were asking the same crazy questions I was. And that's where we built the early vision for Starchild. And where our team won the hackathon. It was really cool. It was our team, we were called Pacifier. We built this thing in just a few days that could convert any song into a lullaby. We said any song, but after we won, like one of the judges was like, "Oh, could you convert a heavy metal song into a lullaby?" We're like, "Not yet. We'll work on that." I think we can do that now, though. But yeah, it was connection. It was, you're not alone in this. So if you're going through your own creative or like professional reset, I would say don't try to do it solo. Surround yourself with people who stretch you. And who see your transition not as a loss, but as a reinvention.
Yeah. And I've seen you reinvent just in the last year and a half, from the really large head of hair that you had to, dare I say, finding more investor meeting looks to bring, because you're not going to wear your favorite T-shirt into a meeting with a potential investor.
Why not?
You could,
But honestly, I was just scared of haircuts.
you were, okay.
So I had to get over that fear.
Yeah. Are you sincere?
Yeah.
Why were you scared of haircuts?
I just don't like haircuts. It's scary.
Okay.
And so I usually don't get one. Maybe once a year I'll go in and get one.
Okay.
Or once every few years.
All the things that you are fearless about. And I would not have anticipated that you would have been scared of cutting your hair. You must, somewhere in your lineage, have Samson from biblical times. You remember Samson who couldn't cut his hair, he would lose his strength. So I see. At this point, it's time in the radio show for us to give a little shout out. And we're going to do a shout out for Surprise Chef. Now, when you think, Brian, when you think of Surprise Chef, do you think of cooking classes? Do you think of bands? What do you think of?
Surprise Chef?
Yep.
I think about Chef from South Park. That was like the first thing that came to my head.
He was not a surprise. He was, except what was going to come out of his mouth, because that was South Park.
Yeah.
Well,
or I think about cooking up in the studio.
Yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah. Surprise Chef is a band, and we're going to be giving away 3 pairs of tickets for the July 26th show. So that's coming up in just a few days at Moe's Alley. Now, I'm not a music gal. Like, I don't follow music closely like a lot of our listeners do. But Moe's Alley is like a pretty famous music venue down in Santa Cruz. So we're giving away tickets for the July 26th show. And if you'll join, or if you are part of the Signal Society, then you can enter to win. And if you need to find a way to join the Signal Society, you can do that at kpcr.org/join. We're going to announce the winners on July 24th. So just a couple of days before the show. So as we transition into our final section, it has become my favorite part of the show. It is a lightning round. So it's half a dozen or so questions, spontaneous answers, short answers. I don't have an issue with you. Some people tell stories that go 5 and 8 minutes, which is forever on a 1-hour show. I don't have to rein you in with answers. I was at a place last night where they kept telling the speaker, we need 1-minute answers. We need 1-minute answers, because he was a storyteller, right? But this is a lightning round. So let's get on with it. First question for you. I feel like I need some kind of a TV game show background music. And if I was equipped with Starchild sitting here, I might do that. But we'll do that on another show, on a future
change the
show.
genre.
Yeah,
Sheila.
we'll have to do a show together
Add
with
intensity.
that. Yeah, we can do that. So the question is, if you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, on a Starchild adaptive track, who would that artist be?
That's a really difficult question.
I know you music people, it's like asking you to pick between your babies.
What kind of artist is this perfect? I don't know if any of you have heard Fred again, but Fred again,
I know that name.
yeah, is amazing. And what he does would be perfect for this platform.
Okay.
So,
Say a little bit about why, because I'm curious, since I don't readily know Fred's music. Why is his music perfect for the platform?
he pushes boundaries.
Okay.
He's not afraid to have his fans remix his work. That's actually one way he directly connects and engages his audience.
Yeah.
He collaborates with everyone. It's a big part of his music is collaboration.
Yeah.
And followers of this electronic genre of music, they're a far more engaged audience.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to get a lot out of something like Starchild.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. So in the age of AI, what's one skill every creative person should develop now that we have AI tools?
We have to get really good at prompting.
Okay.
You have to be aware of these AI tools and use them. So I guess if you're a creator, instead of saying, I'm not going to use this because it's cheating, or I'm not going to use this because I would say, how can you use this to beat the game? I don't know. Like, I used to love Mario Brothers 3. And the thing I loved about it is the way you beat the game is you cheat. You have to cheat to beat the game.
Oh, interesting.
You have to know the cheat codes.
We'll have to talk about that on another show. What's the biggest misconception people have about AI in music?
I think a lot of people believe that it's replacing artists,
Okay.
and that it's all unethical and that music AI is the enemy. But that's only true about the bad actors. And it just turns out the bad actors, they get the most marketing publicity because
Okay.
they get the most support from VCs, or the bad actors are the ones getting all that funding, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep.
There are many players out there
Got
that
it.
aren't like that, like
Got it.
Starchild.
Okay. So, what's a piece of technology that you wish existed right now for creators?
I always wanted something to exist where I could just wave my hand and it would almost read my mind and what I wanted to create and just create it.
Neuralink?
Not necessarily Neuralink.
Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. You want to wave your hand and create.
Yeah, like a conductor. So
Okay.
what if I was
Okay.
a conductor and I didn't have a symphony? I didn't have a musician to wave my hand in front of. I would like it to be possible for anyone just to wave their hand and create music. Like I wrote this screenplay a while back. And in one of the scenes in it, there's this holographic symphonic painter, and he comes out and he's like waving his hand, and he's wearing a bathrobe with a long beard, like a crazy wizard. But he's waving his hand around, and as he's waving it, this amazing holographic painting appears along with music
Oh, that's sensation.
that's coming out spontaneously.
Yeah.
And that's what we see the future being, possibly, because with Starchild right now, you can just move a finger and push a button.
Yeah.
And it's generative, and we're going to add support for videos. You don't know, maybe someday with Starchild, you'll be able to be a holographic painter of music and
Fascinating.
multi-dimensional experiences.
Okay. Yes, I love the multi-dimensional experiences. Speaking of these creative experiences, if traditional record labels disappeared tomorrow, would it be good or bad for artists?
I can't answer that. I don't want to answer.
Okay.
I think it would be. I want to work with the traditional labels. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
I love to meet with Warner, which
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I love to work with them. As artists, I always was waiting, like, oh, I want to get signed to one of these labels.
Yeah.
But really, in like today's age, you don't need a label.
Yeah. I published a book and I self-published. I didn't want to wait the 18 months that it takes to create and get to market with a book with the publishing houses. Because I was in a hurry. It was an AI book. That didn't have 18 months. So I feel like that's a parallel for people. Some people may prefer the construct of working with the formal channels to get these things into market. But you don't have to these days.
It all takes community, right? So if you don't have a label, let's say the labels did disappear tomorrow, which would be sad for some.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, we'll be like, oh, it's totally fine because I was going to collaborate with this other creator and we're going to do these collabs together and market together to push our stuff out there.
Yeah. So if you had to explain Starchild to your granny in 10 seconds or less, what would you tell her it does?
You can make your music fit your moment.
Oh, I like that. Good. Perfect. Fill in the blank. Here's the last one. Music becomes truly alive when
it makes you feel alive.
Oh, yeah. I do see that and agree. Cats. I love it. I love it. So looking ahead, the wrap-up question for our talk is, what reset do you see coming for the world as it relates to music? What do you think the big reset will be for us?
Right now, it's Dolby atmosphere and spatial and immersive music. But I think what's coming is this shift from static music formats like I just described to these adaptive interactive experiences,
Okay.
music that's alive, responsive, and personalized. So we're already seeing the early signs, like there's AI artists, virtual personas, immersive fan experiences. But what ties it all together is this growing expectation that music should do more than play. It should react. It should adapt
Yeah.
to who you are, where you are, you feel. And that's what Starchild Adaptive is built for. It's not just like a feature. It's a
Right.
new format that makes all of this possible. So whether it's like a real artist releasing music in multiple styles and moods, or an AI persona interacting dynamically with fans, Starchild is the format that powers that, musical responsiveness. And it's not just about the music industry. This reset is going to ripple across everything because music is everywhere. It's part of gaming, fitness, fashion, wellness, and yes, even, of course, branding and advertising. And for brands, this is huge. Adaptive music means you're no longer stuck with one-size-fits-all soundtracks. You can deliver emotionally tailored musical experiences, resonate in the moment, personalized ads, immersive brand campaigns, music that shifts based on your user's state of mind or activity. It brings feeling back into marketing in a way that's dynamic and respectful and not disruptive. And Starchild opens the door to that future where music becomes a living part of every experience. It's already a part of, I have music on all the time, but some people like driving in silence, I've heard.
Yes, you listened to my last NordCal Narratives podcast. She was wonderful.
Yeah.
She was great. Yeah. Paige Brodsky of Streetlight Records was on another podcast that I do, and I confess that I actually never have music on at home on my drive. So, Bryan, I'm thrilled that you listened to my last podcast.
So how do we prepare for this coming future of adaptivity? If you're a creator, you can start thinking beyond the track. And this is your chance to design experiences, not just dropping a single. And if you're a listener, you get ready to shape the music around you, your mood, your moment. It's really just trying it out. You don't have to get ready for anything. It's that easy.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old niece can use Starchild and enjoys it. So if you're a brand or platform, this is your invitation to connect with audiences. And if you want to see where it's all going, come visit us at starchild.music.
Okay.
Or for sure, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always on there.
That is a bold-faced lie.
So we're building this new musical universe.
Yeah.
And it's not just for artists or fans. It's for everyone.
Okay. Just don't lie about your LinkedIn.
So come join us. And I do
Keep building.
I do need to post more on LinkedIn. I haven't even announced this.
You've talked about your camp, the camp that you're doing, the writer's camp, which I think will be fascinating. It'll be similar to the camp that we ran here at Pirate Cat for kids this summer to learn to do radio production and podcasts. So I think getting people involved in your medium is going to be a big step forward. When's that camp coming up?
We just had one actually in LA.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to have another one because unfortunately I wasn't able to make this one in LA. Starchild Yizo. Danye, he ran it, and Shizuko was there. And Juan, who's my co-founder, he flew out from New York to be there.
Yeah.
And we videoed the whole thing. We just haven't released any of the content yet.
Good.
But there should be some more video and info coming soon.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You've told people how to get in touch with you at Starchild Music. On LinkedIn, are you Bryan Fenchel, Fenchel?
Yeah, Bryan Fenchel.
Awesome.
Starchild.music or brian@starchildmusic.ai.
Okay.
That's my
Excellent.
email.
So if people want to follow you, want to pursue what they can do creatively with music, they have different ways to get a hold of you, and we will drop that into the show notes. Excellent. So, Bryan, it has been a pleasure to have you today on Reset with Tanya. Talking about creativity is outside my creative zone, so I really enjoyed this. I appreciate you. We love our audience, so we're giving the little love sign to our video podcast that we'll produce, that you've been listening to this show with Bryan Fenchel of Starchild Music on the Reset with Tanya program, and it's being broadcast from KPCR 92.9 FM, as well as K215GA 90.9 FM, and Santa Cruz's lovely KMRT 101.9 FM. Everyone, have a beautiful, wonderful, lovely day, and we will see you again next week.
Thanks for joining us on Reset. Remember, transformation is a journey, not a destination. So until next time, keep exploring what's possible. I'm Tanya Long, and this is Home. This is Reset.